Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today on this rainy day, I am driving a 1998 Mitsubishi Minica Toppo. Up front is a 0.6 liter inline 3, and down below is a 4-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Minica Toppo for 2 reasons. First of all, I recently reviewed a Toppo BJ, which is a little bit different. We'll talk about how a little bit later on. The second reason is that I'm driving a K car. This thing looks silly, it looks cartoonish, and I love that. You can't be mad when you're driving a K car. And even in the pouring rain, I have many reasons to be sad today, but I am not. And that's thank you to the Minica Toppo. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 3-cylinder under the hood, the 660cc. Well, this is a K car, spelled K-E-I, and part of those requirements for it being a K car is the smaller engine. They could only have a maximum of 660 cc's, which this fits. However, the interesting bit is that this is a 1998, and it is still carbureted. This has a carburetor on it. It is a carbureted K car. Very, very interesting and very late in life to have a carburetor. Like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed manual transmission. That's it, 4 speeds, very simple, no frills there. It was cheap, it was affordable and easy to make, so Mitsubishi did it that way. Last but not least about the Minica Toppo, it is front wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Minica Toppo from 98? Well, here in the pouring rain, it ain't great. It's very small. The suspension is not very forgiving. It's a very unforgiving driving experience in total. However, it's little and it is fun. It's light on its feet, it's nimble, and these cars were meant to be affordable, and they are. Good grief. The sky is opening up on this little K car today. And I'm happy that it's holding up. I'm very, very happy that it's holding up. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 gauges. Off to the left is my fuel, in the center is the speed, and off to the right is coolant temperature. That's it, no tachometer found here in the Minica Toppo. On the steering wheel, I do get little horn buttons and an airbag, but I also get this little red light. This is actually to tell you not to drive the vehicle until it's ready. It only lasts a couple seconds when you turn the vehicle on, but very, very cool to see that integrated into the steering wheel. I don't know if I've ever seen that on anything else. Off to the right, I don't get anything. It's just a blanked off switch with some storage, and moving on to the door, we have the crank for the window, latch, get in and out, but that's it. That's literally all I get. Moving into the center, we do have our rear defrost as well as hazard switch. Our climate controls, which does apparently have AC, it just needs a recharge, but very cool to see all of that. We have our standard Mitsubishi Motors radio down below. Again, all of this is in Japanese. Sometimes you'll find, even in JDM cars, they'll have a lot of English in them, but not this. We do have a pull-out ashtray and another little cubby. The cigarette lighter is actually found by the windshield wiper stalk to the left of the steering wheel. And then down below, we have a little cubby that does not fit the big friggin' bottle, so it fails there, sadly. And then we have the shifter. Again, it is a 4-speed shifter, so you gotta keep that in mind. It is not a 5-speed. Do not try to shift it into 5th. You will not have a good day, but it's relatively presentable, relatively cheap to build. It's rubbery, plasticky, and that sort of thing. Then we do get the handbrake in the center and the seats. The seats are decently comfortable. They do have this very fun 90s pattern to them that I really like. However, width is an issue. I'm a rather wide guy, and I don't fit in here all that well. Now, vertically, and we'll talk about that later on, vertically I fit very well. But width-wise is still a little bit of an issue, so you might want to take that into consideration before ordering your Minica Toppo. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, which are only accessible from the passenger side, so let's go do a back seat review. Oh, great heavens. Oh, this is a very cold and wet review today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the back of the 1998 Mitsubishi Minica Toppo. And a couple of things to note. First of all, as you saw, I got in using this door. I only have this door. There is no door on the driver's side, American passenger side. The right side of the vehicle does not have a door, contrary to what the Hyundai Veloster has, or doesn't have, I guess. My knees smashed into the seat in front of me. Headroom is amazing. I have the stars and galaxies up above me because this actually utilized parts from their cargo vans. And so you got this giant high roof. That's what the Toppo means, that we'll get into in a little bit. And they left a little storage cubby up above the driver and passenger that has a 5-kilogram limit, but you can store some stuff up there like you would see in an RV or similar vehicles like that. Now, I almost could stand up in here. I'm not quite fully standing, but I'm pretty gosh darn close. So that is amazing to see in a small footprint car like this. I could nearly stand up. Absolutely love that. Now is the time I've been putting off for a while to get outside and talk about the rear cargo space in the rain. I just want you guys to know the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song is stuck in my head right now. Anyway, we are around the back of the Minica Toppo. There you go. You get a big opening door. Love to see that as I just stepped in a giant puddle. Absolutely love to see that. These seats do fold down as well, so you can fold that flat for more cargo space. Absolutely love to see all of that, but I'm going to get back into the warmth and dry of the Minica Toppo. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and obviously this thing is absolutely cartoonish. I love the look of it. I think it's adorable. And as I said walking up to it, it really does look like a cartoon character. Now, part of the reason, and the reason why it's called the Minica Toppo, is that in the early 90s, the K-car restrictions were changed a little bit. They allowed for like 5 centimeters more of width and length, which didn't really change all that much, but they actually removed the height restriction towards the end of the 90s. And so you started to see vehicles like this that actually had normal headroom. Now, that gives it that cartoonish look because it's a lot taller than it is wide or long. But this car, the Toppo, actually started that trend of going more vertical because that restriction had been lifted. We saw this in the Suzuki Wagon R and other later K cars that came after the Toppo. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving, well, right now, sitting and waiting out the storm in a 1998 Mitsubishi Minica Toppo? Well, I love this car so much. It's a great little car, and it functions so incredibly well. I think there's a lot of impressive engineering that goes into this, not only designing and building a car that fits within the K requirements, but making it relatively fun and extremely useful. That storage bin above the driver, the rear tailgate. It's a 4-seater that stays within the footprint of a microwave oven. That to me is so special and so cool. There's not an inch extra in this car. Nothing in here is superfluous. I have crank windows. I guess you could consider the AC to be a nicety, but besides that, that's it. This is all about function, and yet it does function in a very fun way. It's adorable. It's not aggressive. It's not this crazy hard angle vehicle. It's soft and adorable. You just want to hug this thing. You want to pick it up and put it in your pocket. That's what makes this car so special. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's interesting. And yes, it's rare here on American streets. But really, the biggest thing is that this thing is just a feat of engineering. It's an achievement to build something so small. And that is what makes this car so cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Chris for letting me borrow his K car in this absolute pouring rain. Chris has been absolutely awesome. I've reviewed several of his cars throughout many different years. He's always wonderful. He's always importing the cool and the weird, and I appreciate him for doing so. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're staying dry wherever you are. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.